This is the view from my apartment overlooking the Coca-Cola warehouse. On ground level you can see the apartments. I'm walking next to an old warehouse, the brick building on the left, and you can smell coffee roasting. There's a local coffee shop that roasts coffee, and I'm on my way to a little cafe where I'm going to pick up a little snack. So we'll walk quite a ways today. It's a lovely day in Lviv. This neighborhood has very little traffic. This is quite a large abandoned factory here on the left. But we're going to be getting into some green space area further down. This wall I'm approaching has significant buttresses. And over here is a big soccer field. Gonna get across here into the green space area, little scooter there. This is quite a quiet neighborhood. It's not connected by any trams or buses. Strictly local traffic. On this little corner there's quite a few shops, and there's one small market. You can buy snacks and food and Coca-Cola. I am carrying my camera today, so I'm kind of cautious about who sees me filming. But there's not many people out, so I feel pretty comfortable. Some old trees along the street here. I'll be crisscrossing the streets here to give you a good view of what's going on. This in front of me is a university. And across the street, the gray building there, that is the cafe that I'm going to. In English, it translates to the interesting cafe. And I'm just going to buy a little pastry here and then continue with my walk. But I will shut the camera off while I'm inside. So I'm going to just grab the pastry and go. There's a view looking back. Again, crisscrossing the street. The cafe stays open pretty late. I think 9 o'clock, but 7 for sure. Alright, I'm out of the cafe and I'm just going to continue my walk. I'll eat the pastry after I take a little walking break. Now we are heading toward the center of Lviv, and what I want to point out is the underground tunnel that actually tunnels under the railroad tracks. And it's quite interesting to me. Maybe commonplace in Europe, but quite interesting. Again, I'm going to crisscross, giving everybody a view of the street. The crossings in Ukraine are called zebra stripes. Typical crosswalk. A lot of fireplaces in those buildings. A long time ago when it was built. They primarily use natural gas now, but I suppose when they were built they were used wood or coal, possibly. There's that car leaving, quite loud. Parking on the sidewalk, that's typical Ukraine. little bit of green space here. Coming up to the left is a large church with a large area, a lot of property. Very high wall surrounding it.
Nearly 2 hours late.
This fence along the road keeps pedestrians safe, as well as preventing cars from parking on the sidewalk itself. And the trees look, some of them look to be fairly newly planted. There's one old one. Plenty of old architecture. The closer you get to the center, the older the buildings and the older the cobblestone streets. Here the streets are paved, but in the center it'll be cobblestones. And on the left is one of my favorite restaurants. Little cafe, if you will. Outdoor seating. And indoor as well. And it's right across the street from the secondary railroad station. You can barely see it there. But we won't be going that way. We're going to be continuing down the street and then actually going under the railroad tracks, about four blocks away. Now here I just crossed some tram lines, and there is bus number 20. It's probably the only bus on this road, but there is tram number 6 that goes down this line. And this is the bus stop right here. And we have cobblestone streets. That street could be as old as 500 years old. It's quite a project putting them in, but once they're in, they're there to stay. The whole street is cobblestones. There's a school on my left, and we're continuing down here. If you turn right, you're kind of you're following the tram tracks, and then also tram number 9 also runs down that way. So 9 and 6 connect about a block down the road there. And this line is just 6. But the tram lines go down where I'm going to be going essentially to the left here. And then there's going to be a little more foot traffic because people are using that tunnel. There's bus number 20. So I will be experiencing more foot traffic here. Still recording with the camera out. Doesn't seem to be a problem. Alright, here's the tunnel. So above the tunnel is the railroad tracks. And we are going to go down inside. Now, when this tunnel was built, there were shops on the left, and only the tunnel on the right. But see, the shops have been taken out. The flooring remains. But here I'll go through the pedestrian way. Now I'm gonna zigzag into the shop area. This used to be all shops, but there just wasn't enough business for them to remain, so they all moved out. I think there's one shop here on the right. He's just somebody who tinkers in there. I don't think he sells much. Then there's a little park here right before another large cathedral. So I'm going to sit in the park and eat my pastry that I purchased. So now we're officially on the other side of the tracks. That was pretty good timing to have a train go by just at that moment. Alright, so I'm going to eat my snack. And I'm finished, and we're going to continue with our walk. This is a small park, possibly owned by the church itself, possibly public, I'm not sure. There's a church and monastery here. Now, instead of a fence along the sidewalk, they have these little round knobs. And that's also to prevent people from driving up onto the sidewalk and parking. And for the most part, it works, but there are still people that get around them and park on the sidewalk anyway. But they're more aggressively ticketed in that case. We're getting close to the center now. This video will end in the center, and it'll show a little bit of the center. But for right now, I'm just going to walk up the quiet streets of Lviv, and we're going to pass an interesting hotel that closed. It was called the Charlie Chaplin Hotel. But before we go there, let's take just a look at this monastery a little bit. There's kind of a gate into it. The gate's open. This is some road construction here. But there it is. Gates open. It's very big. It's very big in there. Yeah, this whole road is blocked off. I don't know if the church is doing something or another building is being demolished or built. I'm not sure. I mean, it's really blocked off. It's hard to see in there. Anyway, I'm going to walk right next to this Charlie Chaplin Hotel. I just walked by it. Once I go to this other cathedral, I'm going to probably circle back and take another look at this neighborhood. A lot of foot traffic. You can see that people are not allowed to park on the sidewalk. And there's the main road down there. And we're getting really close to the center here. Not quite the center though. But there's tram line 9 and 6 right there. So walking under the tunnel, walking through the tunnel is kind of a shortcut to that. There's another bus stop. And so, yeah, that bus stop right there, that's pretty darn close to the center. So I would almost say that we're in the center now. Close enough. There's some nice little green space here. Odd tables and seating there. There's a lot more people out and about, so sometimes I point the camera away. If somebody's mean mugging me, I might turn the camera away. Most people don't notice. There's another little park. And right up here, there's a large church. We'll take a closer look at this one. There's kind of an interesting bell tower, if you will. Nice wall and iron fence. There's a look at the street. Again, these cobblestones could be 500 years old, if a day. There's a good view of the church. You can see my camera is on a little post in my hand. Okay, I'm going to walk up this street, circle back to the Charlie Chaplin Hotel. We haven't been up this street yet. Quite old. This street looks really old. Wonder if the Romans put in that road. I don't know. I don't know if the Romans got this far north. Lviv isn't a flat city. There's plenty of elevation. You go up and down. There's a little cross there. That's a little pharmacy. People have their towels out to dry. No fear of anybody stealing them. Even in wartime, I didn't really have any fear in Ukraine. The people are not criminals at heart, if you will. Most people are quite conscientious and don't misbehave. We'll swing by the Charlie Chaplin Hotel here. Little green space here between the sidewalk and the road. It's quite interesting. A little more than usual. There you have it, Charlie Chaplin Hotel. Boarded up, unfortunately. I think that I think it closed. I don't think it's opening soon. I think it was open and just closed. Yeah, it's that was kind of a low traffic area. And these are some murals next to the Ukraine flag. And this is kind of a underbelly of the center, kind of behind all the buildings that are facing the street. A lot of construction going on. This should be a roadway, but it's totally under construction. A lot of buildings have been knocked down. Ukraine colors are blue and yellow. Blue is the blue sky and the yellow is the sunflower fields. And this is a night shot of the center. I shot this kind of late at night, so everybody is pretty much gone. Like this bar here would have people outside and drinking and stuff, but they're all inside now. Pretty quiet on these streets.
сраки. Хлопці весело танцюють, яйця вимагають, а дівчата завтра зранку яйця позбирають. Опаня, заєбісь, наливай бокала, хто любить Україну, мусить бути з нами. Опаня, заєбісь, пиво в караті, не знали, та нехай, не собі до сраки. А дівчата скажуть очі і трясуть цицьками, значить буде нині в лісі файна пилорама. Опана, заєбісь, наливай кохана, хто любить Україну, мусить бути з нами. Опана, заєбісь, пиво в караті, не знає, та й нехай, не собі до сраки. Москалі такої люблять полювати, а ми будемо на них і згорели срати. Опана,